So as you're probably already aware, last weekend Battlefield 1 was finally revealed to the public, and judging by the amount of likes on the trailers compared to Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, I think it's fair to say that Battlefield did this with the newest Call of Duty game.
Get riggedy wrecked, son! Oh no!
I mean, obviously we haven't actually seen any gameplay from either of these games yet, so for all I know, both could be terrible or both could be absolutely amazing. And in my personal opinion, I think comparing Battlefield and Call of Duty is completely stupid. It's like comparing apples and oranges, because they both present two completely different types of playstyle. But I guess if I had to pick a side in this silly little debate, I'd probably have to go with Battlefield just because it's the game that I've had the most fun with. Not that I dislike Call of Duty or anything, it's just I've always preferred Battlefield and it's always had a soft spot in my heart. And with the upcoming release of Battlefield 1 making me feel all giddy inside, I wanted to give you guys a sort of indication, I guess, as to my history with the Battlefield franchise in this video. Hopefully you might want to see more content on Battlefield 1 in the future, but that remains to be seen. I guess you'll have to judge off this video or something. That's gonna be fun. So yeah guys, sit back, relax, and enjoy my walk down memory lane with my history of the Battlefield franchise. We of course start at the very beginning of my Battlefield career with Battlefield Bad Company 2. I picked this game up very late on into its life cycle. In fact, I think it was even the summer before Battlefield 3 came out. For the 2 years prior to Bad Company 2 being purchased by me, I'd been playing a lot of Modern Warfare 2 and the original Black Ops. These games were the original games that got me into first-person shooters in the first place. The whole reason I picked up Bad Company 2 was because of its destructible environments. It was something completely new to me at the time, and something that I thought would really be a lot of fun to play in. Bringing the game home and playing it for the first time, I knew as soon as I got into my first ever match that this was a game that I was going to love in the future. Everything about the game, from its realistic bullet physics to its surprisingly good looking graphics for the time, got me instantly addicted. The slower paced and more tactical gameplay as well brought a refreshing change from the Call of Duty that I was used to. This doesn't, however, mean that I was perfect at the game. In fact, I was relatively terrible at it. I was lucky to get 1 to 2 kills a match tops. For the past 2 years, although I'd been playing Modern Warfare 2 and the original Black Ops, I wasn't very good at them. I didn't particularly play them all that often, and my first-person shooter experience was basic at best. However, I would later learn how to play first-person shooters properly when I played Battlefield 3. As a Bad Company 2 noob, I'd spend most of my time up in the UAV destroying roofs of houses just because I could. And occasionally, I'd feel awesome as I killed someone inside of it. I was yet to grasp the concept of teamwork, and so as a result, I never really did all that well in any of my matches. In fact, to this day on the Xbox 360, I do believe I'm only rank 14. Nevertheless, Battlefield Bad Company 2 flaunted that Battlefield magic that we've all come to know and love, and got me thoroughly hooked on the series, and I can quite clearly see why it's many veterans' favourite game in the franchise. However, while Bad Company 2 will always hold a special place in my heart, it's Battlefield 3 that really takes the cake for me. Battlefield 3. Oh boy, where do I even begin with this one? This is the game that taught me the ways of the Battlefield player. It was also the first game I ever played while recording to upload to YouTube. In fact, my first ever video, which involved me playing this game with some friends, is still available on YouTube for you to watch. Not on this channel, obviously, on one of the older channels that I used to be a part of.
So this is Brad56 from Stonehider Games, otherwise known as Callum. with some Battlefield 3 gameplay for the first time on this channel. And with me today I have Clarkster, Xbox Live Game Tag. Say hi.
Hi.
And we have I Cook Frags, which is very important. Say hi.
Hi.
While the quality of that gameplay was subpar at best and utterly abysmal at worst, the game most certainly wasn't. I spent more time in Battlefield 3 on the Xbox 360 than any other game aside from Kerbal Space Program I have ever played, with around 250 plus hours as of recording this video. For the first time, a lot of my friends also bought the game, and so we used to squad up and play lots of different game modes and really learnt the mechanics of the game inside and out. Together, we all learnt the importance of teamwork within the Battlefield franchise, as well as some of the finer details of the amazing gunplay that the game offered. Of course, the game was far from perfect, as is now well publicised. Netcode issues, hit marker issues, hit registration, all that sort of back-end stuff plagued the game throughout its course. That's not to mention some of the weird balance decisions, such as the M16A3 being really overpowered compared to literally every other gun in the game, and broken weapons, such as the M26 Mass underbarrel shotgun, not being fixed for months on end. But despite all of these flaws, for me anyway, Battlefield 3 was the most fun I had ever had in a video game, and still is to this day. There's just something about the feel of the game. It feels light, it feels nimble, but it doesn't feel so light and nimble that you feel out of control of your character. With Battlefield 4 and Battlefield Hardline, which I'll get on to talking to in a minute, it feels like your soldier's heavy and laden down, whereas in Battlefield 3, it has a nice weight to it. This is probably somewhat of a controversial opinion as well, but I actually think Battlefield 3 in terms of graphics actually look better than Battlefield 4 and Battlefield Hardline. Just my personal opinion, I know a lot of people prefer Battlefield 4 and Battlefield Hardline, and I can understand that. But just my personal opinion, it looked a lot more realistic in terms of the colour palette that they used. I know the whole blue tint thing didn't really work, but in my opinion, I actually kind of liked it. But the main reason, more than any of the others I've previously mentioned, that kept me coming back and playing so much Battlefield 3 was the epic moments that I got when playing it. I feel like in Battlefield 4 and Battlefield Hardline, the two more recent Battlefield titles that honestly I haven't enjoyed as much as the first two that I got, that the introduction of Levolution and sort of scripted destruction really sort of takes away from the only in Battlefield moments. The Battlefield moments that you have, they feel false, they feel contrived, whereas in Bad Company 2 and particularly Battlefield 3, they felt visceral and natural and as if they were a natural part of the game. I mean, for those Battlefield 3 veterans out there, how cool did it feel the first time that you jumped off the peak at Damavan Peak? It was just amazing. Admittedly, I did faceplant because I didn't know how to pull the parachute at the time. I was still very new to the Battlefield series, as I already have mentioned. But how cool did it feel when you did that? How cool did it feel when for the first time you shot down a helicopter with an RPG, where you literally just blind fired and it ended up smacking into the side of it? I know I had a very similar experience with a jet, where I just sort of flicked my rocket launcher to the side and just sort of caught a jet that was flying past. And I know a bunch of my friends were with me at the time, and they just started screaming, as did I, because it was just the most amazing moment I think I've ever encountered in a video game ever. That's just one of many different stories that I have to tell from Battlefield 3. There are so many that I couldn't fit them into one video without boring you guys to death. There's just so many epic moments that I had that I'd really want to share with you guys. But it's those reasons, for me personally, that make me miss Battlefield 3 and the way that it used to play out, and the way I used to go on it every weekend with my friends and stuff like that before obviously life and commitments got in the way. And I also feel it's what's missing from modern day Battlefields, and that's why I'm kind of glossing over Hardline and Battlefield 4 here. Totally not because I haven't got the games on PC, and so I can't actually get any gameplay, but Also because I didn't really like those games as much. I did put a similar amount of hours into Battlefield 4 as I did with Battlefield 3, but I found it so much harder to play. I couldn't play it for extended sessions because it just felt like a slog. Even in its now completed state, and I do think it is a very good game now that it's all been fixed, past all the launch issues, all of the weapons have now been correctly balanced and stuff like that. It still feels a bit soupy and a bit ugh, if you know what I mean. Compared to like the light fluffy nature of Battlefield 3, it just doesn't really stack up in my opinion. And the same goes for Hardline, although admittedly its gunplay in my opinion is slightly better. But if there's one thing that I'm hoping returns in Battlefield 1, it's that overall feel of Battlefield 3 and Bad Company 2. Obviously, I know it's not going to be exactly similar because of the types of weapons that are being used. Obviously, it's a different setting where war was a lot slower paced and a lot more close quarters. But hopefully they can sort of recapture that movement sort of system that they had in Battlefield 3 and make the guns feel nice to use. Even the ones that aren't particularly good in any ways. Just make them feel good. I know I used a lot of underpowered weapons in Battlefield 3, and that's purely because of the way they felt. Yeah, I may have not have done well as I perhaps could have with an M16A3, but I like to mix it up in Battlefield 3 just because of the feel that every weapon had. It felt unique. So there you go. That was my trip down memory lane of all the Battlefields that I have played ever. I know it's not a complete history of Battlefield or anything, and I know I glossed over Battlefield 4 and Battlefield Hardline, both of which I've bought and played, although I barely played Hardline because it was, well, a disaster in my opinion. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys actually liked it, because I would love to bring some Battlefield footage to the channel if you guys are willing to see it. I know a lot of you are perhaps opposed to it because I traditionally do Kerbal Space Program content, and Kerbal Space Program content will most certainly not be going away. It is the staple of my channel. It's what I'm going to be focusing on forevermore as far as I know. It's just that I would really love to start doing more games, start varying it up a little bit, and hoping that you guys would like to see them. So if you would like to see some more Battlefield content on this channel, do drop a like down below, and of course subscribe if you want to see more, because it'll be interesting to see what you guys want to see. But anyway, thanks for watching guys, remember to like and subscribe for more awesome content in the future, and let's hope that Battlefield 1 is a return to the glory days of Battlefield. This is Brad signing out, and as always, peace out!